All right, ladies and gentlemen, we have a quorum and we're ready to get started here. Will you call the roll, please?
Senator Allen. Here. Senator Bell. Here. Senator Chambliss. Senator Coleman Madison. Senator Figures. Here. Senator Kelly. Here. Senator Kitchens. Senator Roberts. Senator Stewart. Senator Stutz.
Here.
Senator Williams.
Okay, thank you. We have 7 members present. We have one bill on the agenda today, House Bill 161. Representative Sales, you want to come up and tell us about it?
Yes, sir. Thank you for the opportunity to present House Bill 161 to you in the committee today. Thank you. This is again is a bill that we have today protecting children, and what this bill does is basically 2 things up front. It gives parents the right to choose if an app can be downloaded to the child's phone, and it makes sure that the app's age rating is correct. We're gonna hold them to make sure the age rating on the app is suitable for what they've got posted on the app. And if there's any questions, I'd be glad to answer.
Mr. Chairman, I move favorable.
All right, I'm sorry, you made a favorable motion. Who made that motion?
Excuse me, but it's a public
It
hearing.
is. It is. We'll get.
Shouldn't we listen to
Yeah,
all of them?
we'll get to that. Yeah.
I appreciate the enthusiasm, sir.
Yeah. We have, I thought until just a second ago, we didn't have any opponents signed up. So we were going to punt the public hearing, but we've just gotten the list here. And we have 4 proponents and 1 opponent. So any other questions for the bill sponsor about the bill before we go into the public hearing? Okay, seeing none, we'll go two proponents and then have the 1 opponent in between. So Becky Garrettson, and we'll give each one of you, say 3 minutes.
Good, I only made it for 2. Mr. Chairman, thank you so much for the opportunity to speak on HB 161 today. Did you know that nearly 96%...
Excuse me, I'm sorry. Mr. Chairman, can she tell us who she represents,
yes.
if anybody, or she's just a
Thank
private
you.
If you will,
citizen?
please introduce
Thank you.
yourself.
Thank you. I'm Becky Garrettson. I'm the Executive Director of Eagle Forum of Alabama. And did you know that 96% of 14-year-olds own a smartphone? Yet app stores continue to treat children as if they're adults. App stores are the digital gatekeepers of children's online lives. But there's very little accountability when kids are exposed to harmful, exploitative, and misleading content. This bill is a reasonable, common sense bill that simply closes these gaps. It does 4 things. First, it requires verifiable parental consent for users under 18. If a child can't legally enter into a binding contract in the real world, they should not be able to do so online. App stores currently broker contracts between minors and large corporations, contracts children cannot legally consent to. This bill restores parental authority and puts parents back in the driver's seat. Second, it establishes truth in advertising for app ratings. In the real world, we already have clear standards for age ratings. Like the movie system, we have G, PG, PG-13, and R. So parents know what their children are being exposed to. App stores, however, operate without a comparable standard. Developers can label apps as child appropriate when they contain explicit or harmful material, and parents often don't learn the truth until the app is downloaded and then the harm is already done. This bill requires clear, accurate descriptions so parents can make informed decisions. And third, the bill requires age verification using anomalized age categories that protect privacy. This isn't burdensome. App stores already collect birth dates. Most adults link credit cards, so parents are regularly verifying their children's ages. This is both practical and feasible. And finally, this approach has received overwhelming bipartisan support in other states, passing with 95 to 100% support in both chambers in Utah, Texas, Louisiana. That tells us this bill is not radical, it's responsible governance. Please support HB 161.
Thank you.
I have a question.
Okay,
Mr.
I'm
Chairman.
sorry. Becky,
Thank
would you
you.
come back, please? And
Okay, of the states that you said those are the states that have passed this
Yes.
bill? Okay, I thought you said more.
Have more than that passed? Yeah, some are in progress now, but,
Okay,
okay, thank you.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman.
Okay, next, proponent Stephanie Smith. If you will, please introduce yourself and tell who you represent.
Yes, sir. I'm Stephanie Smith, and I am representing the Alabama Policy Institute. The Alabama Policy Institute supports House Bill 161, just as we have the last several years. It's commonly known as the App Store Accountability Act. And there are a couple of reasons why we feel strongly about this bill. Number one is personal. Many of y'all know me and know that I have 7 kids. Right now, I have 4 sons at home, 3 of which are minors who have phones. So I've walked through this personally recently. And it's an ongoing problem, even for people who read these types of bills, even for people who are trying to do their best as parents. It's very difficult to keep up. So what I like about this bill as a parent and then also as a professional is that it allows parents to understand what it is that their children are signing up for. I, as a parent, before dealing with this bill, did not understand that developers actually are self-reporting on the rating system. And so I assumed, even for my own sons, that if it said 4+, that it would be appropriate for my 13 or 14-year-old son. And that is not always the case. So this bill makes sure that those are standardized. The other thing that I really like about this bill is that it uses the information already on your phone in order to verify age and brings parents back into the conversation and puts them into the driver's seat. I did want to note that API conducted a statewide poll about this specific bill and found that 83% of Alabama parents on both sides of the aisle do support the passage of this bill. Thank you.
Thank you. All right, next we have an opponent, the only one, John, and I can't read your last name, John, so come up and introduce yourself and tell us who you represent, and you'll have 3 minutes.
Yes, hi, my name is John Tamney. I am with the Parkview Institute, a policy think tank. Thank you very much for hearing my testimony. I bring this not just as a policy-focused person, but as the parent of a 5 and a 9-year-old. Thinking about parenting and thinking about all the effort that goes into it, that's the first problem with HB 161. Imagine presuming that we can just write a law and make less challenging what is already incredibly challenging. To me, HB 161 insults parenting by presuming that you can put on the books something that will just take away all the difficulties, all the daily challenges of being a parent. At which point HB 161 is superfluous. I've heard twice about how it's going to protect parents and kids from apps they shouldn't have, that's going to help parents keep their kids from getting them. This has already been done. There is nothing in this legislation that Apple and Google don't already provide parents with. If you buy one of their devices, parents have the ability to limit screen time, limit the time at which kids can see certain things on screen. If they don't want any screen time during school, they can limit it altogether. If they want to cut it off during homework hour, they can do it then too. If they want to cut it off at bedtime, they can do that then too. In terms of apps, if kids want to add apps, they can only do so insofar as their parents already give them permission. Parents are notified by Apple and Google before they can add anything. Again, this is all excess relative to what's being provided. If kids are sent something nude or something lewd, it is blocked before or blurred before it can reach them. If kids, God forbid, send something out that's nude or lewd, it's blocked before it can reach anyone. So the law is not necessary because these protections already exist, at which point it's quite perilous. Let's never forget the problem with laws. They won't affect the vast majority of parents who are vigilant about what their kids see and do, but they will affect the parents who aren't vigilant, who will say, oh, I've got a law protecting me now. At which point, for the small number of kids who very much need protection, this law will create a false sense of security that they don't need to do anything. I ask you to strongly vote against HB 161. Thank you.
Mr. Chair, I got a question.
Thank you.
For the
Do you mind some questions?
Sure.
Senator Kelly.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. So you say the things are already in place for this. So then why are you against the law?
For precisely the reason I said. For one, I don't want to insult parenting by pretending that we need a law. For two, these things are already there. Why would you write a law when Apple, Google, and other providers of these services are way ahead of the law in the first place in helping parents protect against exactly the things that the law wants? At which point I'm against the law because let's be honest about what it is. It's going to create a false sense of security for some of the parents who aren't necessarily vigilant, but who will say, "Oh, I've got a law protecting me now. I don't need to do what I need to do." And so that's the main thing. Look, most parents don't need this in the first place, but those who do, it's going to create a false perception that will actually imperil the bringing up of a child.
Okay.
I appreciate your comments. Speaking as a parent and a grandparent, I'm very appreciative of the ones that are bringing this bill because it does provide accountability. It's not. I don't take it as something that's insulting to me as a parent or a grandparent. I take it as something that's another tool that I have to try to protect my children and grandchildren. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
All right. Any other question?
Yes, Mr.
Yes.
Chairman. Thank you. All I can say is praise God, my 3 sons are 37, 40, and 43. And I didn't have to deal with cell phones like that, like parents are now. But I, too, have grandchildren as well. But my son and daughter-in-law monitors it very well, down to even the shows they can watch on TV, which, of course, they always try to trick Grammy V when they come to her house. I have to double check. But I understood it just as you testified to. That was my understanding of it all. But seeing that there is some differences of opinion or whatever, whether or not this is actually needed or not, would the sponsor be open to working with those to see if we can tweak it and make it a better bill? Because if we're repeating anything, we don't need to repeat it. You know what I'm saying? If it's already there. But you laid out what my understanding of it all was. And I do think that parents, if they're going to buy their children a cell phone, that is a truly, truly big responsibility. To me, even more so almost than buying a motorcycle these days. But I think the parents have to take accountability. If they're going to buy that phone, they need to check what's on it. They need to know what's on it. But it was also my understanding that they are notified when they go on there because they have to verify the age before something can go. But like I said, because of all of these misunderstandings, I would feel better because I'm all about protecting children. I think my reputation precedes me in that area. I'd really like us to take our time to make sure, so before you push it any further, even if we pass it out of committee today, Mr. Chair, which I don't know if you had planned to do that.
I'm going to wait and see what the bill sponsor does, but let's finish up
back
the
in the
public
day,
hearing.
Back in the day, I've been here 30 years, we used to have a public hearing, but we never voted on that bill for the public hearing. And we always announced a public hearing a week before it was on the agenda. But anyway, if we could have some time to do that, I would appreciate it. Thank you.
Even if we do decide to vote today, we'll have plenty of time before it gets to the floor to see if we need to tweak anything or whatever. But
I'd like that commitment that we would get together
I'm not
before it's
in
pushed
charge
to
of
the
that.
SOC.
We have 2 more speakers. Thank you very much for your input.
No, Mr. Chair, that's why I asked for the commitment from the sponsor of the bill.
Yeah, so we'll have the sponsor back up in just a minute and see what they're. Malia Stevens is the next proponent.
Yes.
You've got 3 minutes.
Thank you. Good afternoon, Mr. Chair and members of the committee. It's great to see you again, and I'm excited to share my support of House Bill 161, a bill that this committee already supported and overwhelmingly passed the Senate last session. My name is Malia Stevens. I'm a practicing marriage and family therapist. I've been in private practice for 25 years in Birmingham, and I serve on the board with the National Center on Sexual Exploitation in Washington, D.C. I stepped into that role because of the exploitation and harm I was seeing to young children through these things and devices. I've seen firsthand devastating cases of children being groomed and harmed, exploited, and trafficked through apps that were designated as safe for children. So if this bill had been in place, and these are in cases where families are very, very vigilant, parents are very vigilant and watching, monitoring things, but they're told that this app is safe for kids. And then also just working with some families from underprivileged backgrounds who don't have involved caregivers, but if they have an adult who's required to check things more intentionally, this bill would also definitely add a great level of care and protection to those children who don't have involved caregivers or people who are as knowledgeable, because I see a lot of kids in certain situations who are raised by grandparents. And this bill would definitely help people who are less tech savvy. In less than a year, the potential dangers and harms for Alabama children online have grown exponentially. The rise of AI chatbots and so many other apps that parents didn't even know about a year ago have caused devastating harm for many families. That is why it is so critical that Alabama House Bill 161, the App Store Accountability Act, to empower parents with the necessary tools to better protect their children online and to require app stores to get parents' approval before minors can download apps on their device. This common sense bill is supported by 83% of Alabama parents and voters. I'm sure you remember having to sign your child's permission slip before they went on a field trip with their school because they could not go without their parents' approval. This is the exact same concept we are trying to apply to the digital world, where trillion-dollar companies currently make our children sign contracts that give away their data. I urge you to please, oh wait, sorry, I skipped a spot there. Yes, I urge you to please stand with parents and help us equip them so that they can have better control and awareness, and vote yes on House Bill 161 to protect Alabama's next generation. Thank you so
Thank you.
much.
Any questions? Okay. We have one additional speaker, Teresa Robertson. If you would, please also introduce yourself and tell us who you're representing.
Hi, my name is Teresa Garcia Robertson, and I represent Meta. I do Southeast policy for them, but I live just over the state line in Columbus, Georgia, so it didn't take me very long to get here. We're here because Meta supports House Bill 161, which requires app stores to verify age and then get a parent's permission before teens can download an app. This ensures that app developers like Meta can place younger users into age-appropriate experiences on our platforms. App Store age verifications have now been introduced federally and in 27 states, which is more than half the nation, and versions have been signed into law for. Further, this is what parents want. As stated, a recent poll found that 83% of Alabama parents support legislation requiring parental approval for app downloads. The broad support for parents and lawmakers should not be ignored. At Meta, we want to empower parents. That's why in 2024, we launched teen accounts on Instagram, Facebook, and Messenger. Teens under 18 are automatically defaulted into these accounts, which limit who can contact them, the content they see, and the time they spend on the app. Teens under 16 require a parent's permission to make any settings less strict. Importantly, in order to place teens into age-appropriate experiences like teen accounts, app developers must know the age of users. But understanding someone's age online is complex and an industry-wide challenge. And without a centralized location or solution within the App Store, parents would have to share personal information independently with each of the estimated 40-plus apps that teens use on average weekly, which would be a privacy nightmare. HB 161 is a better way. It's simple. When a parent sets up their teen's App Store account, they link it to their own and confirm they are the parent and confirm the teen's age. They only have to do this once. Then when a teen tries to download an app, the parent receives a request on their phone to approve or deny it with a simple click of a button. The app will not download unless the parent approves, putting parents in control. We don't have to start from scratch. Apple and Google already collect this information and have systems in place to obtain parental approval before teens can purchase an app. They should use this existing infrastructure for all app downloads, not just the paid ones. Let me be clear, with an App Store approach like HB 161, no sensitive personal information is shared with any app developer. App stores would only share secure, anonymous age range and consent signals with parent-approved apps. This
30 seconds.
This minimizes data exposure and the risk of identity theft associated with uploading personal documentation to multiple services. We think that we should all be responsible, and this shares responsibility across those best positioned to keep teens safe online. We're all here because we want to protect kids online, and we respectfully ask that the committee pass HB 161, which achieves this industry-wide and can be easily implemented and will have an immediate impact on Alabama families.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Time's up. Thank you. Any questions for her? Okay, so Senator Chambliss, you asked if you could have 30 seconds of personal privilege. I know this issue's been near and dear to your heart, and then we'll have the bill sponsor back up to see what direction you want to go.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. This bill is something that I've worked on. Representative Sells has worked on it much longer, this issue than I have. But the fact of the matter is there are real world examples in Alabama, in our families, where the be-all, end-all that was discussed earlier did not work. So the question that we have is, do we just sit back and say they're going to handle it, or are we going to do our jobs and try to protect families? You know what? We have laws against murder too. That don't stop all murder. I hope that it stops some. This law will stop some. Will it stop every single thing? Probably not. I'd love to say it would. But the accidental exposure to unfiltered devices has wreaked havoc in our state, not somewhere else, here. We're trying to solve that, and I urge your support. To address your question, Senator Figures, we've worked on this bill a long time, and those who oppose it have done everything in the world to try to stop it, except for come to me as the Senate sponsor of the bill. I was the Senate sponsor last year. The bill went through the Senate. Within the last 48 hours, I have been barraged with input on this bill. So the people who are killing it now want me to negotiate with them. That's where we are. However, Senator, to your point, we are a two-body system. And I respect that. I respect your opinion. I respect your previous work. And I'll always want to sit down with you and work out whatever we can to make good legislation better. Because I don't have all the best ideas represented. Us working together will always be better than us working singularly. So to that end, I will work with you very quickly.
Of course.
I don't want to wait, but
Of course. I'm not trying to hold up your bill. Mr. Chairman.
Yes.
Senator Chambliss, can you just walk us through how this would actually work if this bill is passed into law and if it's enacted? Just walk me through it if my 6-year-old grandson was trying to download an app.
Yes, ma'am. There are technical people here who can answer that better than I can. But what I try to do is try to put things in a way that my simple mind can understand it. So right now, and for generations previous to now, if you walked into a convenience store and there was sensitive material there was a cover that was put over that so that accidental exposure would not occur. That's norm in our society. That's accepted. That's law in our society. So what we are trying to do with this App Store bill is the same thing that we do in a physical store on a digital store. It puts a barrier so that accidental exposure cannot occur. So through age verification and all the things that were explained earlier. And you know, obviously I am all about parents and parents taking care of their kids and looking after their kids and protecting their kids. But I can read you several stories where parents just like you and I, they were doing everything they could and it still got them.
But tell me, how does it work? Like, you know, treat me like a simple-minded person right now. That in terms of how would it actually work? What happens when my 6-year-old goes on the phone and tries to download an app if this was in place?
I think we just heard it from the last speaker. So what she said was, when you get the phone, you'll verify that it's for a minor, and you'll enter the age in the phone, right?
So how do you? I mean,
So there's
walk
several
me
different
from the
messages.
very beginning.
There's
I'm
several-
on the App Store.
Okay,
I
let
pull
me
down
get-
a certain app that I want. Okay,
She'll run through it
because I
again.
really want to understand.
Well, lucky for all of us, I'm the mother of a 6-year-old and went through this process recently.
Okay, great.
So she has an iPad, and I set up her Apple account, and I put her age in it, and she went into our family account under me. And so I went in and made sure that it was as locked down as is humanly possible, and opted in to what currently exists. And I can tell when she has it. I can tell when her daddy has handed it to her, because all of a sudden my phone starts dinging with all of these notifications of Andy wants to download this app. No, you may not download this app. And so I just decline it, and she doesn't get to download it. So I get the notification. And with this bill, instead of me having to go in, I would still go in and set up her Apple account, but I don't have to opt into anything. It is automatic that once they see that she is a 6-year-old, she is automatically put into those parental accounts. I don't have to spend an hour and a half making sure that it's completely locked down.
But if you go in on her iPad, because my grands have iPads too.
Yes, ma'am.
So if you go in there and try to download something, what would it do?
I would have to have my phone, and I would have to verify it.
But if this bill was enacted, you couldn't download it either, right? What would happen
It would
if
be
it
the
was
same.
something you want? Oh, you
It would
just
be
have
the
to
same
give your
process.
permission.
I would just still have to give my permission. The difference in what we are saying is that I don't
wouldn't have to
as a
do it every
parent,
time.
I would have to do it every time to say yes or no, just like I do now, but I don't have to go in and spend all of this time figuring out how to turn on all of the safety precautions. It is automatic that it happens because I have verified that she is a minor.
So what would the phone companies, the device companies have to do? What would they be required to do to make it so that you don't have to do that?
Right. There's an age. Well, this bill would make it so that I wouldn't have to do that, that this bill would require that age verification happens.
Wait, okay.
No, but the company is going to have to do
let's-
something to make sure that you don't
Okay.
have to do it.
Yeah, all right, let's move on. We're running
Senator,
short on
I'm
time.
really trying to get a better understanding of this bill.
There's nothing.
I'm not trying to prolong anything, Senator.
Okay.
If I was, I would tell you.
The information is all there on an Apple phone, on a Google phone, on whatever other kinds of phones. That this information is there.
So the companies don't have to do anything.
Well, there would be age signals that are sent. There would be those types of things that happen once I don't have the bill in front of me, and I'm so sorry, but there are requirements that would have to happen. But we're not the information is already there. That age information is already on the phone. They already have the technology.
I'm just
The
getting more and more
infrastructure is
confused,
there.
but- okay, so I guess I want to hear from something. Is there somebody here from one of the companies that would have to be responsible for making it so that I can understand technologically what has to be done on their part as well? And how do we enforce it? How is it going to be enforced?
Enforced through the Attorney General's office.
But how? So how would some
Parents would take claims to the Attorney General's office and present them to him.
I wonder how that would work.
If I'm, what claims are you saying? Explain that.
Yes, sir. So if the parents find some violations, they'd take the violations to the Attorney General.
Oh, okay. If the parent,
If I might bring us up to where how we
Yeah.
got right here. So last year, y'all passed this bill out of the Senate, correct? And it's come to the House. Well, we passed the filter bill and did not get to this bill. The Speaker pulled us all together and said, y'all get this worked out before next year. So this isn't something we just stuck together. This has been in the works. So
So have you worked with the companies as well?
yes, I haven't personally, but yeah, it's.
So they've been at the
negotiated.
table as
Yes,
well?
it's all been at the table. And the table's been open. They might not have been there, but it's been available. So now we want to talk. And then, so we passed it out of the House 103-0. Not once did any parent say, hey, this technology is already there. Not once did anybody on their side say it's already there, and they're using it. The technology is there, but it's not default. So this is going to make it default. If it's a small inconvenience for somebody, so be it. We're protecting our children, our grandchildren. They have the technology, the filter bill. They said they couldn't do it. Bam. They got it fixed right now.
all right, any other particular questions? Is it, I'm going to leave it up to you. We've had a public hearing, but if you want us to vote today,
Yes,
we'll
sir.
be glad
I'm
to
gonna
have
turn
a
that over
vote.
to you, Senator. I
Mr.
brought it
Chairman.
up here.
So,
I
Yes.
move favorable.
is there a second? Okay. Any other discussion on the motion for a favorable?
Yes,
All right.
Mr. I would
Yeah.
like to say that I will vote for the bill to come out of committee, but I definitely want to get with Senator Chambliss to get a complete understanding. Also, I don't like sound good, feel good bills if it truly can't be enforced as well, to make sure that the children are protected as well, because we didn't talk about enforcement, what kind of penalty it would be or whatever.
All right. All right. Thank you. Any other comments before we vote? Will you call the roll, please?
Senator Allen, Senator Bell, Senator Chambliss, Senator Coleman Madison, Senator Figures, Senator Kelly, Senator Kitchens, Senator Roberts, Senator Stewart, Senator Stutz,
Aye.
Senator Williams.
Okay, the bill is given a unanimous approval out of committee. Thank you, members of the committee, and all of you that sat through a long public